Are you ready to punch people in the face? In this video, we're going to focus on 3 basic things: the core of the combat system, initiative, and the order of combat. By the end, you'll have a basic roleplay combat system for any form of combat imaginable, which you can expand upon later. For the sake of illustration, everything in this video will revolve around the use of a flat 20-sided dice. Now, a 20-sided dice offers a nice bit of variety with modifiers, which you can add or subtract to the dice total. And higher is better. 20 sides to the dice means you have a 5% chance to roll a natural 1 or a 5% chance to roll a natural 20. So let's form the most basic skeleton of your role-playing combat system, the D20. Player A and Player B are friends in a role-playing guild who decided they want to role-play some PvP using their guild's dice system. Well, they can roll dice in-game if the MMORPG they're playing has dice, or the players can roll their dice on a Discord server that they're both members of. Here are 3 simple rules to remember. 1. Everyone rolls a D20. 2. Every player has 4 health points max. 3. Every attack that lands deals 1 health point of damage. So combat will proceed like this. Player A will type out their custom attack emote, then Player A will roll their D20 to attack. Then Player B will roll their dice to defend. Player B must now meet or beat the number that Player A rolled, or Player B will get hit. Both players have 4 health points. Every attack lands does 1 point of damage. You now have a dueling system. So next, let's talk about something I didn't mention in this core system, the initiative. Some of you may be keen to notice I didn't mention initiative. Well, there's a couple ways to handle it. When players enter combat, the first thing everyone needs to do is roll initiative, because that will determine your combat order. And in MMO roleplay, much like tabletop, action is taken through turns. I prefer the base initiative off of a player's basic dice roll in their guild, whatever that may be. The higher their dice roll based on the rank in their guild, the higher their roll for initiative. In D&D 5th edition, the character's dexterity modifier gets added to their D20 for initiative. Some guilds will have everyone roll a flat dice to determine initiative. That works too. However you want to work, that's fine. For this illustration, we're using a D20. So when Player A and Player B agree to a duel, they roll initiative to see who goes first. Whoever rolls higher, they go first. If they tie, they roll to break the tie. Easy way to resolve it. The order of combat. So, the initiative roll. Player A rolls a 19 for initiative. Player B rolls a 12 for initiative, so who goes first? Player A, clearly. Combat proceeds like this. Player A types the remote, then they roll a d20. Player A rolls a 13. Player B rolls to defend before anything else. Player B rolls a 6. So what happens? They fail to meet or beat it. Well, Player B failed to defend against the attack. They lost the roll off, and now they take 1 point of damage. Now Player B emotes the results of that damage they took and proceeds with their attack as it's now their turn. Because remember, it's a 2-way duel between A and B. And this goes back and forth until one of them reaches 0 hit points, at which point they're knocked unconscious and can no longer fight. That's kind of the idea. They're not dead at 0. That's really hardcore. You typically don't have something that extreme in MMO roleplay guilds. But 0 HP typically means they're knocked out, unconscious, or otherwise unable to fight. And you see, with the system, because we established an initiative order, you can actually easily add a 3rd player into this. So let's say Player C is watching, and they decide to join the duel and turn it into a free-for-all. So Player C enters, and they announce the desire to join the duel, and they roll initiative. Then Player C's initiative gets compared to the initiative order of the ongoing duel. They can squeeze in with the initiative order and attack wherever they seem to fit. Once they roll for initiative, and it's good to keep in mind, once a player rolls for initiative to join a fight, that opens them up for attack, because they've declared their intention to join the duel or turn it into a free-for-all. So as you can see with this system, you can expand upon it. Replace one of the players with enemies which the Dungeon Master controls. You can add more and more players and more enemies into your combat system when you're hosting events by squeezing them into this initiative order. And what happens if people roll the same initiative as another? Well, you can simply resolve it by having, whoever rolled the tie, they roll off against each other to determine which one of them goes before the other. Easy as that. And congrats, now you have your combat system. So what's left? Well, there's quite a bit left to combat, really. There's the intricacies of combat, such as skills, rules to keep in mind, combos, whether you want to use critical hits on a natural 20 or automatic misses on a natural 1. Plus, there's dealing with massive groups of players and how to handle your party, as well as mass combat, since, MMO roleplay tends to have more players. I'll handle that in future videos when I get more in depth. But with this video, you now have a simple, straightforward combat system for any kind of combat within an MMO roleplay environment. There's a playlist on screen now with my other videos on roleplaying. I recommend you watch the one about making your own mini game system for your guild, because it talks about expanding and all these things we talked about. Got some tips of your own? Share them down below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.